Today is one of those really exciting days in a van build. So, what are we doing today, buddy?
The walls.
I'm really excited to finally get these on so it's not so yellow in here.
Oh, I think it's gonna make it so bright, and
Yes.
I'm so excited. I know it's just primer, but like...
Yeah, we did already prime them. We're waiting to paint everything until it's pretty much done.
We didn't do that in our van, so we're gonna try it out in this one and see how we like it.
Yeah, but super exciting. So we've got 4 sections to put the walls on. So
we're using 1/2-inch plywood.
yes, and we're gonna use lots of adhesive and screws. So let's just get to it. There's probably plenty of different ways you can achieve the plywood wall look, but this is just how we did it, and we feel like it worked pretty well. We started out by cutting the sheets of plywood into the biggest sections we could, matching them up on a furring strip, and we used lots of adhesive and screws, as you can tell, but we found it really helpful to use these clamps to suck in the plywood to the furring strip to match the curve of the wall. We worked our way around the van in sections. We were able to get each side done with 2 sheets of plywood, and like I said before, we did use a lot of screws, as you can tell. And we finally have walls. This is like the first time, obviously, we've used just like the wood for the walls. We did shiplap in ours, so
I think it turned out good.
What are your thoughts on it?
I don't know. I like it. I like the smooth wall look more than I like the shiplap, I think. I think it looks cleaner.
Hold on. Chloe's barking.
I think it looks cleaner and just like more high-end. I kind of feel like the shiplap is almost outdated to me.
I don't know if it's outdated, but...
Maybe not, but it just feels more that way to me when I see...
I think this really looks like drywall right now, and I think right now it's hard to like say, oh, this looks so good, because
I think it looks good.
We put a lot of screws in it.
I think it looks
very much like me to be overkill, but we're also curving it, so I feel like using them was necessary, but we're going to fill them all and sand it down, and it's going to look good, so...
Now I need to tell them about what we're doing next. Because I don't think we've talked about really what this...
So we're doing like a slide out... Chloe
really doesn't want you to talk.
No, we're doing a slide out toilet into the shower, and we've roughly got it kind of figured out.
You can show it.
Yeah, so built like this frame for it and the box that it's going to sit on. We're using heavy duty drawer slides for it. So obviously, you can sit on it. So let me move all this out of the way. Here's what that's looking like right now. This is the box that the toilet's going to sit on, and there's this box underneath that the drawer slides are going to screw into. So we were waiting to get some bolts because I feel like the screws would end up kind of like coming loose. So we're going to put bolts on, but we're going to have to put the slides on the drawer first and then into this frame. So not 100% sure how this is going to work. But we got the bolts, so hopefully it's quick. And then this is just gonna slide into the shower. And then she's using the separate tiny. So yeah, we're just gonna get the slides mounted and then get the toilet in, and then hopefully everything works how it's supposed to. So.
What do we got going on here?
It's done.
What's it look like?
We have it. Check this out though. Over here and stand in it.
Holds 250 pounds.
500 pounds.
Oh, these are the 500 ones? Oh, wow.
So, works like a charm. I'm super happy. It was a long road to get here. I'm not gonna lie, they had me in the first half. But it works.
We gotta show it with the toilet in.
So now we gotta get the toilet in.
Alright, let's see it.
In all its glory.
So slick.
I was really worried there wasn't gonna be enough room at the top, but it's pretty perfect. There's actually a little room to spare, which is nice.
As nice as it is that this is actually working the way that it's intended to, honestly, I don't think that this is a toilet design that I would necessarily recommend, because I feel like it makes much more sense if you're just putting it in the shower, taking it out each time that you're showering, because this is taking up space that could otherwise be used for storage or any number of things. Chloe, you're really on one today. Let's go see Dad.
Personally, though, I like it because I think it's really nice. Like, you do lose storage and that part sucks, but I think the convenience of it just sliding in and out and not having to take the toilet out, I think it's a game changer. This is one thing. I just want to say, this is like the one thing that Hannah and I like disagree on, because in our next van, I think personally I would be willing to lose the storage for the functionality, but Hannah would not. So
no. But let's revisit that when we have to actually make a waterproof door on this. And
no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying like it's a pain to do it, but I think the functionality of it is going to be really nice.
I'm not saying it's not functional though, because it is functional to not have to take the toilet out of the shower every time. But one, with as much as we shower in a van, not practical.
But I think if because it's easier, and if like with a bigger water tank, I think you would do it more.
I don't really think so.
Alright.
I don't really think so.
I guess we're going to have to agree to disagree on this.
Sure. I mean, if this is your style, go for it. But honestly, I feel like you're losing a lot of space doing it. And this is not my preferred toilet design. I do think, though, if you don't have a shower, then having a slide-out toilet is obviously... Chloe.
Come here.
I think that's obviously like a no-brainer. But with this, it just makes so much sense to me having the shower double as the storage space for the toilet, especially if you're not showering in the van every day. And you can disagree with that if you want.
Okay. Things have been pretty crazy around here, but we're nearing the end.
Just a few more weeks.
3 weeks left, hopefully. So
I think for sure 3.
So we're going to show you everything that we've gotten done since the last time.
It's been a little crazy around here, so we didn't film for a couple of days because there was just too much chaos.
I also think it's hard because we're like doing like little things.
Yeah.
And it's not like, I don't know,
progressing as fast.
Yeah. So
we're going to do a little update really quick before we get to what's next.
Okay, so you show them.
Okay. The last thing that we showed on here was this slide-out toilet. Here there is going to be a cooktop that slides out, which will also be an extension of the countertop here. So the last time you saw this, we didn't have any of these shelves in. Up here, obviously the fridge. There's going to be a door on here, and this is basically just going to look really clean. No open spaces. Drawer, door, and then another door up here for just storage. We put an outlet up there to hopefully be able to plug in really just anything that she needs to plug in. I think there's a couple things that might be USB and a couple things that are just regular outlets. As you can see, we got the face frames on here and over here. I don't know if you can see that super well. But yeah, this is also a sneak peek of the paint color. You don't know what color is going on the walls yet because we haven't shown it, but
the paint also was painted and we just sanded it.
Yeah.
The holes.
Looks a little rough right now.
It's not right. But.
Looks a little rough right now, but you get the point. It's just a green color. It's called Nurture Green. Who's it by? Valspar?
Yeah, we'll use Magnolia paint.
Yeah, we put it into Magnolia Home Paint, but it's made by Valspar and it's Nurture Green. And then the next step is...
You're skipping the drawers.
Oh, the drawers, duh. We put all of these drawers in with no face frame on. They're a little hard to get out. There's a random screw in here. Put all of those in. It's going to be a small drawer here, silverware drawer here, I think, because that just seems like it makes sense. This is just storage right here. And then this looks like 2 drawers, but it's actually going to be a pull-out pantry. So it'll have one handle. Both of them will pull out at the same time, and they'll come out even with each other, and then you'll be able to put whatever food in here you need. And that one's a little harder to close, but so drawers, and over here there's no drawers. It's just gonna be this open shelf, basically, with a door on it. Is that it? As far as like what we've done so far?
I think so.
Okay, so next up, today we are priming and painting everything, and Keith has spent the better part of the morning working on this cooktop drawer situation.
We also got everything caulked and like prepped.
Yeah, it looks really nice having all of this done. So really all there is to do now is just get into the painting, and there are still a lot of like finishing details. We still need to build the upper cabinets. We need to get the bench lids on, get all the doors on, get this piece of wall on. So still a lot left to go, but we've also come a really long way. Don't you think?
Yeah.
I think so.
Now we gotta kick it into overdrive.
Facts. Okay, so we've gotten everything primed all back here. This wall, that wall, and the wall behind the driver's seat. I'm not gonna come all the way up there. So next I'm going to start painting the walls. We're using Cream Delight by Valspar and the Magnolia Home Paint. Keith is gonna be working on the toilet. He's just gonna have to tell you what he's doing with that because it's venting the air out of it, but we had to kind of like piece things together a little bit. So he'll tell you a little bit more about that, but I'm gonna start painting because it's gonna be dinner time soon.
Okay, so I'm connecting the toilet, I'm connecting the power to the toilet, and I'm getting the vent, I'm getting the vent part done. And the only reason it's a little more difficult is because the toilet's sliding in and out, whereas like in our van, the toilet is stationary, and then we can take the hose off to take it out, but this one's constantly sliding in and out. So in the back here, you can see, back over here, cut this hole so the hose is going to come out, and then there's a hole back here. It's going to go down to the bottom of the van and then vent out the bottom. So I'm just trying to figure out, one, making all the connections, but two, making sure that it does slide in and out easily and the hose doesn't get caught or like, I don't know, kinked or something. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, so the toilet has been put on hold because we don't have the right adapter. It said it was 1.5 inches, but it definitely is not. So gonna have to figure out how it's gonna connect to the hose that we have. So I don't know, I guess another trip to Lowe's for that. We'll see what happens. So here's Hannah painting.
That's an interesting segue.
Yes.
Just here's Hannah painting.
Yep.
As if that's my main hobby or something. Like,
You're a painter.
Here's Hannah painting. You know, she loves to do that in her free time. And this is just one example of that. But here she is.
In her natural habitat.
How nice. When realistically, I never paint.
Well, the walls are cream. Can't really tell in here at all, but
well,
it's looking good.
I think we're going to be thankful for this because the lights being warm white, I think it's gonna make the cream really like pop. So even though you can't super tell right now that that's what this is, I think we'll be thankful for it when we turn the lights on and see it that way.
Agreed. I guess this is where we're leaving it tonight. We had hopes to get a lot more done today. It's cream. Got it on there, and it's on the benches in this wall, and then this cabinet here obviously be green, and then the other side of this cabinet will be green. But so like I said, see you guys tomorrow. Good morning, we are back, and it's going to be an exciting day. I think Hannah's already back here painting, getting the second coat on the walls everywhere that's cream, and then I think once that's dry she's going to start on the green stuff, And while she's doing that, I'm gonna start cutting and / building the upper cabinets. We're gonna get those primed and painted, and hopefully by the end of today, we're gonna be able to put those up. We'll see.
I'm kind of excited to. I don't know if we showed it in our van, but I'm excited to show how we do the upper cabinets because ours have held up so well. Like, I know there are horror stories of people.
Yeah, like, people's upper cabinets fall down all the time.
Down.
Also, I think ours is pretty simple. Like, obviously you can build the cabinet and then put it up, but I think ours works really well. We've had like 0 problems with it, and it's nice because you don't have to add a lot of extra wood with the way that we're gonna build them, which I really like. So
if you're looking for a simple way to build upper cabinets, I think our way works really well, and it's like the most simple that you could possibly get. We got the second coat of cream on. I think it's looking really good so far. I'll just give you a look at the walls and the bench / front of the bed area, because that is what's going to be the cream, and then the rest is pretty much going to be green. I'm going to be working on painting more of the green later because we're going to cut the upper cabinets first. That way I can just be painting it all at the same time because there's no reason to let paint just sit out. But I think it turned out really good. I'm interested to see what it looks like with the lights on, but it'll be a little bit before we connect those. But yeah, I think it's good so far. I'm really looking forward to seeing the green and the cream all together finished with upper cabinets, because I think that's really going to give us a look at how this is really going to look.
The biggest part of the upper cabinets is done. I wouldn't say done though, because we still have to sand them and paint them, but they're built. So here's what it's looking like now. So this is going to be the bottom. This is the front face frame, and then in the back here, this is here so we can screw it into the wall. In total, this is 12 inches. So this cut is 11 1/4, and if you notice on the side, this is at an angle, so that's what kind of took the longest, was trying to find this angle for the wall. So that way when it screws in, this is flush against the wall, and then on the bottom, this will be flush against the wall too, so there won't be a gap. And this is what we did in our van, and it's worked really good. So we just screw through this into the wall, and then obviously it can go into the furring strips too, so that works really well. And then this also works well to have the face frame on here, and then they just kind of, the top part and the bottom part meet, and then it just makes the cabinet. And that's why we go ahead and put like the wall all the way up and then the ceiling all the way over, and that just makes like the inside of the cabinets. So all of these are pocket holes that went from, obviously here into the face frame. So we're waiting for all of that to dry so that can be sanded, and then we'll caulk around the edges, and then we'll be able to paint them. We're also using that same veneer that we used like on the edges. We're gonna put that along the top to cover these holes, because these are pocket holed down in the back here too. So you won't be able to see these, because in our van we like just slapped them up as they were. We didn't fill any holes, and it took us a lot longer, and it's a lot harder to fill them and do all of this sanding while it's in the van. So we're trying to be smart this time and have all that done. Here's how we're leaving it tonight. We've got both of these bottom pieces. They're upside down because I did run a bead of caulk there, and also on the inside there. So those will be ready to paint tomorrow, and then we got the top pieces done. Here's what those look like. They're sitting up here. There's 2 pieces, so it's kind of confusing, but those are ready, so then tomorrow we'll be able to prime and paint them and then get them in. So it's getting late, so we're gonna go have dinner and we'll see you guys tomorrow. This morning we started by installing the upper cabinets, and this may look a little different than what you're used to, but we found it really works. So we start by installing the face frame, and then we attach the base of the upper cabinet to the face frame, and we find where this goes by measuring off the center line on the ceiling.
Okay, we've got one in. What do you think?
Oh, it looks pretty good.
Very enthusiastic.
I think it looks really good. It's just a struggle to figure out where things go because nothing is straight, nothing square, so you can't use a level. So trying to figure out basically like where this meets this in correlation with the wall, because you can't measure the same at the top because it's bigger at the bottom, and it's just confusing. But once you figure it out and it's up, it's good.
If you can't tell, he hasn't had the best attitude so far today. But I think once we get both of them in and it's done and we just have to accept what it is, we'll be fine and you can move on from there, right?
Yeah. Okay, so both sides of the upper cabinet frames are in. Now, there's still quite a bit to do with these. So this is a cabinet, and then in between here we're gonna have to put dividers, and then we gotta add a trim piece along the top. So there's obviously no gap there, so it's not done by any means, but the framework is there, and I really like doing it this way. I like doing it this way, but I'm not sure if, I don't know. I like it, but I do see like the benefit of doing it other ways too, but I think this way is definitely a good option. It's very sturdy. So yeah, just gotta finish, not really finish, we gotta still build and cut the dividers in pieces, and then there's gonna be a small shelf right here, and then there's gonna be a shelf back there on the other side too, so there's still a lot to do, but the process is starting. So
Alright, we got the window frames in. Chloe looking cute. That's what that side looks like.
They did for some reason.
As you can see here, there is a bit of a gap because of the curve in the van, but that is definitely caulkable. And
much better
honestly,
than our van.
Yeah, our van was a bit of a disaster because the windows were so big, but this, there's not as much of a gap, so we'll just caulk that and roll with it. But I think these turned out so good. Hi,
I feel
Chloe.
like they really just like,
they finish it.
they really do.
They're like a good finishing
like not
touch.
seeing the inside and around the windows is nice.
It's really nice. So other things that we've been doing, lots of painting. As you saw yesterday, we got these in. Okay, so these are going to be the inserts in the middle of each cabinet. So that's going to be like the divider between the cabinets, which they're still drying. That's why those aren't in yet and we haven't finished that. We've got the bench lids. We cut these a while ago. I don't know, maybe a couple weeks ago. And they've just been kind of floating around until we got around to painting them. What else have we done? This we didn't really show, but basically we made a cardboard template and then made from the cardboard template a wood template. and cut each of them pretty much custom.
You want to show the table?
Oh yeah, we got the table in. Honestly, we were kind of nervous to even show putting this in because we weren't sure if it was going to work because drawer slides seem to not be our friend.
Yeah.
Okay, one second. Let me turn it around.
Okay.
So we can get like the ultimate reveal.
It'd be great if we had the bench lids on. But
it would. Okay.
But
so slide out table.
Voila.
Nice. And storage inside. Not really like too much, but honestly.
You could easily put like a laptop in there.
Oh, for sure.
It's getting closer to the end of the van build, and I think it's just gonna be a common theme. It happened in ours too, that when we get towards like this stage, there's just a lot of little projects that need to happen and that are happening, so we get really bad at filming them. So today we're going to continue filming, and before we do that, we're going to give you an update on all the things that you probably haven't seen.
When we last left off, we had just the frame of the upper cabinets on. Now we have the doors. These are a little stuck.
We have to put the little felt dots on the corners so
it
they
doesn't
don't
stick.
do that,
but we got all of the dividers in on both sides. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
And we attached these as we were putting on the doors just because that makes it easier. The felt pads will also help it to not slam like that. What else? We built all of the doors. Honestly, this is something that I wish we would have been better about filming. It was just like over a series of days doing it, and time just gets away from us. But we got all of the doors done, all of the drawer faces. The paint is really sticking in these. All of the drawer faces, they're almost ready for the hardware.
Got the fridge.
Got the fridge secured. We did like a DIY version of this because the actual mounting apparatus for a fridge like this was a little more expensive, so we just made it ourselves using these aluminum L's. Putting the wood behind it and then screwing that in, and the aluminum L is also screwed into the side of the fridge, so that should not go anywhere. And then I guess I should probably talk about this. The shelf, this one is not going to have a lid on it, but it's just an open shelf here. There's also going to be another one here, but we, I guess, forgot about that one. So we haven't built it yet. In the last clip, we didn't have the bench lids on. I guess I can show this side so it's easier to see. But now we have those in. And this shelf back here, this is going to have a lid on it. And I guess you've also gotten some outlets in. Here, here, here. There's one in the back. There's one up here.
Lots of outlets.
Oh, and we also, I'm literally standing on it, we built this step. So inside of this, the hinges are not on it yet, but essentially there's going to be just a couple inches of storage in here. And it also makes it to where when you're sitting here and you pull the table out, your legs are a little more elevated. It's more comfortable to sit. I'm not going to pull this out because it's hard to without the drawer thing. And I think that's it, right?
I think so.
And we're running out of storage, so I'm going to talk fast. We have these back doors on. That goes to the electrical. Here, there's going to be a drawer that pulls out, outdoor shower, and then we just started getting these on today. We've got some stuff drying to go here, and now we're going to do the countertop. Okay, so now for the countertops. We have 3, I guess, sections of countertop. So this section right here is going on the passenger side as a flip-up table.
Did you just touch that?
No.
Okay.
This little one right here is going next to the bench as like a little side table, and then we have the kitchen. What did we use on this? Butcher block.
oil slash finish from Watco.
Yeah. It's
over there by the first.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Did you buy 2?
Yeah.
Oh.
We can return one.
Okay.
I just didn't wear them out.
So it's this here, and honestly, we love the way this turned out. I wish we would have done this in ours. I guess we can't put it on there now because we already put something on there. But
it turned out really good. It was really easy to apply, and
you only need 2 coats, really.
yeah, you need 2 coats. But like what we did like a Butcher Block conditioner, and like, I guess it wasn't oil, but I don't know. You have to reapply that a lot, and maybe you do have to do this too, but I don't know. I feel like this just is better. I don't know.
So now we're going to put 2 of the 3 in. The other one still has 1 more coat to go on it, and it has to be put on like these little flip-up brackets. So
not going to get to that today, but we're going to get these 2 in, and then we can start doing the plumbing under the sink, which is super exciting.
And this is going to make it look so much more finished. I'm really excited for this part. Okay, you can probably see it better from here. I just think it looks so good. What do you think?
I really like it.
I really do too. I think it's just gonna make this space.
I like this
really.
whole thing better than I like our van.
I mean, I really like our faucet, but
Yeah.
I like the way that the Butcher Block turned out better. I like the way that the sink fits better. And I like the placement of that being in the corner. We currently have a lot of projects in the works, but first I wanted to show you the plumbing underneath the sink. We haven't finished all of it, but I don't know if you can see it with the lighting. It looks pretty good. We got this water filter in, and all of the water is run to that. The only thing that we need to do is get the plumbing that goes out of the sink. So up to the faucet, we're good, but coming out of the sink into the floor to the gray water tank isn't done yet. And Keith is back here working on setting up the outdoor shower because we didn't actually buy the right parts for that the other day. So it's going right there, if you can see it. How's it going?
Oh, it's going. I'm ready to have this in.
Is it fitting right?
I think so. We just have to get all of the stuff connected to it.
Let's see it. Back here. Got all 3 sides are PEX.
I think it's definitely more difficult doing it like this, because normally like you're screwing it to a wall and you're like facing it all, but you're kind of like doing this all backwards, so it's a little different, but I think it's working.
But we're getting close to having all of back here finished.
Yes, because we have to be doing a water test tomorrow.
Yes. So yesterday we didn't film just because, I mean, we were painting and it was kind of boring. But Keith did make this box apparatus for this mirror like storage situation. So it's like this mirror, inside of this is storage, and then we made that box so that it can pull out on a slide. So it'll be tucked away right here behind the seat, and then when you want to use it, you just pull it out. We also, I think we mentioned the other day, we forgot about a shelf. So we built that yesterday. It's currently drying. This will go on the front of the table. And then this is gonna be the piece that holds this box with the mirror in it up higher. And then since we made that so that it can go higher up, it'll make it like 5 feet tall. Since we did that, we're just gonna put a little door on it and use it as extra storage. But today is especially exciting because we are getting the van out of this barn, and It's been in here since we got here in January. We started what, I think like January 13th. So it's been here ever since we got back to Indiana. It is now April 6th. So that's what, 3 months? February, March, April? Yeah, 3 months. So we're getting it out today. Tomorrow we're going to be able to go and do a water test. And then really, we are on the home stretch, I feel. What do you think, buddy?
We're getting there.
And then Chloe, of course, you know, she's laying up here in her bed. We did this in our van build too, and honestly, she loves it. So we're just rolling with it.
When it came time to pull the van out, we were slightly worried that it wasn't going to fit through this door with the height of the air conditioner, but we just made it.
As you last saw, we were pulling the van out of the barn, which is a really good feeling because that means we can get some more things done. And we thought, what a perfect opportunity to be proactive and get the auxiliary fuel line put in for the heater that we're going to be installing next week. So because that also meant that we could get the gray water tank in. So we thought, great idea. Turns out it was actually not a great idea because to install this is a gas Sprinter van, so you have to drop the entire fuel tank and install the fuel line on top of the sending unit. And it turns out we can't even do that until the heater gets here. So now we are currently putting the fuel tank back up into the van, which is quite the process. How do you feel like it's going?
Oh, this is so much fun.
Honestly, talk about an afternoon.
I think it's just so frustrating, like, that we did this, honestly.
And wasted the time. It is really frustrating.
I mean, it's also a pain in the ass to do.
Yeah, it is. So we're finishing putting this up, and then I'm hoping we can still get a little bit of something done. I don't know. We have a couple things that are ready to go in, so maybe we'll try to get those in and make at least somewhat of a little bit of a productive evening. I mean, it is already 7:45, and we've gotten used to the late nights, but I don't know. This has just been a crazy afternoon, a little bit of a disaster.
You know what the motto of van building is?
What's that?
You live and you learn.
Yeah, that is our motto. That is actually what I said to Keith probably a million times during our van build, because he's always really hard on himself when he makes a mistake, and I don't really feel like that's necessary. I feel like you're supposed to make mistakes and learn from them. So I always say, you live and you learn. All right, so we have started on the next project, and so far it is going much better than
the previous project.
And a lot of our projects, you know, that's just how it goes. But this is what we were talking about, I think, yesterday. So right here, this entire box will hold that mirror, and we'll show it put in too. And underneath it, we made this box, and that's gonna go underneath just for, I don't even know what kind of storage, but some sort of storage.
We really started it for like support of this, because this itself is heavy. The mirror itself is heavy. So just to make sure, like with bumps and stuff, like it's got some support. So then we figured, why not add some storage? There'll be like a little door on this. I don't know what you'd fit in there. Some shoes maybe.
But I don't know. She'll find
she
something.
She likes flip-flops, so you could fit a lot of flip-flops in there.
You could probably fit like 20 pairs of flip-flops in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we've started on this one. We just have to get the box in, and then I'll show you putting the mirror in, because honestly, it's a slick design and I really like it. I just don't think I would do the one with like the jewelry pocket, because I think it's a little too big.
Okay, so today's been another kind of crazy day, but we're getting some things done. So finally got the outdoor shower done, and I say done, there's still need to get one more PEX elbow, so it's not complete, but it's very close. So here is the outdoor shower, and it's kind of weird because you're installing like a normal shower backwards, so things don't necessarily work how they would like if you were putting into a shower, because you're screwing it like against the wall, and now it's like the opposite of that. So behind it, here's what this looks like. We've got, I don't know if you can see the shower, the valve here, and then I had to build out this a lot. This is for the arm for the shower. So yeah, it's not like the most ideal, I guess, but it does look really good and clean out here, so that's all that matters. And like I said, I needed to get one more PEX elbow, so that way we can finish the hot water part of that, and then the plumbing back here will finally be done, except we do have to like strap it up and stuff, but it'll be able to work for a water test. And now we're installing the headliner shelf. That just came in today, so yeah, it's from, who makes this headliner shelf?
White Top Adventures.
White Top Adventures. And it's an aluminum one. It looks really nice, and it's going to be much better because we started out by, we were going to use a template that like you just put down a piece of wood, you cut it out yourself, and it comes with the brackets. But they sent the wrong template, and it was going to take a long time to send the next one. So yeah, this metal one was ordered, and we're about to install it. And if we like it, honestly, we may get one for ourselves and put it in our van. So we'll see what that looks like in a second.
It looks really good.
Yeah, it does. I like this. We're definitely going to get one for our van.
Yep, 10 out of 10, would recommend.
And now that all the plumbing's wrapped up, we're able to install the drawer for extra storage in the back. And the moment we've all been waiting for, we've finally got the solar panels on the roof. Okay, so we've got the solar panels up there and we've got the wires connected, but we are gonna have to go get some different washers before we can tighten them down. But I'm gonna show you what it looks like. So here, all three of them up here. So this is gonna be, this is 600 watts. And honestly, like, it's super low profile. I think it looks really good. The only tricky thing is gonna be is, like, you can see getting in there to get the washer and nuts on these bolts. It's gonna be a little tricky, but I think it's possible. I think it looks really good. We use carriage bolts we use stainless steel carriage bolts with the washer underneath into the roof track, and then we're using these aluminum square, they're 1 inch, and then another washer on top, and then the solar panel, and then there'll be another washer, and then a lock nut on there. So
Looks great.
it does look really good.
Looks good
all
for my
together.
house.
We're moving on to the deck right now. There's gonna be just a small deck that wraps around the fan right here, so it'll just be like a U shape. And so yeah, we're getting that done now because we have the stuff for it. And then once that's done, we are gonna leave, go to Lowe's again, get the stuff for the solar panels so they're secured, and then the roof is done.